Hello and welcome to TBR. Today, I will be reviewing the book Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Taylor Jenkins Reid generally writes about strong women characters, and Carrie Soto is no different. She's determined, she's hardworking, opinionated, famous, and the greatest in her field. The book starts in 1994, and Carrie Soto, the legendary tennis player and Grand Slam record holder, is watching her record being broken by Nikki Chan, a younger, faster, and tougher opponent. Soto decides to leave her retirement, which she had announced in 1989 because of an injury. She decides to re-enter professional competitions to hold on to her records. Now we'll go to my favorite quotes before I tell you more about the book. Every match you play, you are one match closer to becoming the greatest tennis player the world has ever seen. You were not born that person, you were born to become that person. And that is why you must beat yourself every time you get on the court. Not so that you beat the other person, but of course to become the greatest player. This is Carrie Soto's father motivating her. When we left Saddlebrook for London, I knew I would probably never see Marco again. But I did not cry. As I watched the plane lift up above the clouds, it seemed obvious to me that there would be other Marcos. That Marcos were easy to find now that I knew to look for them. Well, this book is not only about Carrie Soto's professional struggle. Of course, there's a pinch of her personal life and her exploring herself as a woman, her exploring her feelings as well. But then as the plane leveled out, I glanced back at my father, who was talking to the flight attendant. I couldn't quite make sense of him. I kept staring at his face, trying to understand why he looked so foreign to me now. There was a space between us that had not ever been there before, a gulf for which there would be no bridge. I think the best part about this book is every relationship here, of course, again, it's the father-daughter relationship, has been explored, and the way the relationships have evolved, at times there has been ups and downs, of course, that is also fantastic. There's a bit of a rhythm to it and a bit of reality to it. You can feel it. You have also probably gone through that. And here's the thing about arena sports. It's not just about how good you are at the game. It's about how good you are at feeling the crowd when they are with you and ignoring the crowd when they aren't. Well, of course, the tennis crowd is right there at the arena, the cricket crowd, any sport which has crowd, and it has an effect on every single player, and exactly what Carrie Soto is talking about. My older self knows that you must stop in the middle of the chaos to take in the world around you. What a beautiful line. We live in a world where exceptional women have to sit around waiting for mediocre men. Isn't that true? I think Reid has taken a few, digs at the societal rules. I look at her understanding that as much as I know what it's like to be a woman in this world, I have no idea what's it like to be a black woman. Another take at one of the society's typical, stereotypical rule. The book starts off interestingly at a point where Carrie Soto decides to make a comeback, and then it runs in two parallel timelines. One timeline is how a famous tennis star's daughter becomes Carrie Soto, the tennis legend. And the other timeline is how Carrie Soto, who was the greatest ever, is now making a comeback, trying to defend her record, not only numerically, but also as the greatest ever. The best part about this novel is it just does not talk about tennis. It doesn't have tennis at the background. It actually has tennis at the foreground. There are matches, properly written matches, which will take you through all the emotions. There will be highs, there will be lows, and specifically I love the way Reid has written about the mindset of players, about how a player thinks between the points, what could be going on in a player's mind when they're behind in the game or when they're up in the game but a little tired. So it's fantastic, and it has also shown the transition of the players, Carrie Soto, her opponents, how they have gained from experience or how they have fallen back because probably they were not good enough. Well, Reid has also dealt with how fierce, self-assured, ambitious, successful women who do not bend in front of these societal rules, or men or who do not think of themselves as the second gender, or they think they're equal to men, are treated or are perceived as bad, as people who should be stayed away from. There are a lot of questions asked about their characters, which is not even your business. But that's how the society works, and Reid has shown that beautifully in this novel. She has also dealt with how it has happened to a lot of people that their father or mother had a particular dream and they have then pushed it on to their daughter, and the same thing happened. Carrie Soto's father, who was a tennis player, a famous tennis player himself, couldn't fulfill his dreams, and he decided that he will push his daughter to that level. But at times even he failed to believe in Carrie Soto, and the teachings or the way he had pushed Carrie Soto also forms the person that Soto is. Soto is blamed for being that person, but probably Soto is not the main reason why she is like that. The ending of this book makes the reading experience so fulfilling, because it doesn't end the way you or I will perceive it to end, or maybe we will like it to end. But when it eventually ends, it gives you a feeling of satisfaction. It gives you a feeling that this is closer to reality than had it ended the way you actually wanted to end. No, I'm not giving away the end at all. In fact, I would suggest all of you to pick this book up, especially if you're going through a reading slump, because it is fast-paced, action-packed, and a superb read. Many more such books we will be discussing here in TBR. If you have read Carrie Soto, then why don't you comment what did you like about the book or dislike about the book, and we can continue the conversation. On the next episode, we will have yet another book, so keep going through your TBR, that is to be reads, and keep watching TBR to be reviewed. Thank you so much. Have a good day.